No substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money.
From abroad to yard.
Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctor's Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctor's Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Visit energy.gov.ky or follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and Panama.
This is For the Record with Orett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orett Connor.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, O land of soft, fresh breezes and verdant trees, so fair. Today is Friday, the 12th day of May 2023 here in the beautiful Cayman Islands. We hope and we trust that everyone had a restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening. Those of you who are in the roads of the Cayman Islands, again, we urge you to please, please, please be extremely cautious. Whether you're a pedestrian, a cyclist, or if you're operating any type of motorized vehicle, ensure that you observe the rules of the road. Now, some of you may be operating vehicles that do not necessarily have to be licensed. Electric bicycles, those sort of like things that are like skateboards that are motor-powered as well. You may not require a license. You may not require insurance. And at the end of the day, neither of those things, the license nor the insurance, make you 100% safe. What will really help more with your safety is the fact that you observe the rules of the road, that you be careful, that you anticipate what others are doing. You let others know what you're doing by signaling as well. That is how you protect yourselves. And if you do so, then the life you save may just be your own. For those of you who are celebrating a birthday today, or if you've celebrated one over the past few days, we want to wish you a happy birthday and to remind you that the For the Record birthday shout-outs are proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center. Live your best life and make sure your family can too, is his motto and his advice to you. Also, the birthday shout-outs are brought to you by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson building. Those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we want to express our sincere condolences to you. We hope and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these extremely challenging times, and that memories of your loved ones will be a blessing to you as well. Those of you who are ill and are either at home or at a medical facility here in the Cayman Islands or overseas, we wish you a speedy recovery as well. So, folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman, and by extension For the Record, into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands. into your places of work, wherever that may be. As you know, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. During that period, our phone lines are open. This morning, it is the radio voice of Silver Fox, Mr. Paul Akal, waiting to take your calls. You can call us on a toll-free number provided courtesy of Flo. That toll-free number, 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. Email us at for the record, one word, for the record at candw.ky. WhatsApp us 925-3261. And you can also call us on that WhatsApp number. We can only accommodate one caller at a time on that number as well. 925-3261. You follow us on YouTube. You do that simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And don't forget that we are on Facebook as well. So, reminding you that the For the Record birthday shoutouts proudly brought to you by life insurance agent Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, whose advice to you is to live your best life and make sure your family can too. Also, by More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture, tap into your roots. More Than Words, located on the second floor of the Thompson Building. So let's look at some birthdays today. We will start off by, we have Mr. Today, happy birthdays going out to Miss Catherine Miller, our own Catherine Miller here at Radio Cayman, celebrating her birthday today. Also, Mr. Elio Solomon celebrating a birthday today. Yesterday, George Jones celebrated his birthday. Agueda Blake also celebrated her birthday yesterday. And Vanessa McLaughlin also celebrated her birthday yesterday. And tomorrow, Mr. Billy Samamba is celebrating his birthday as well. So we want to give Billy advanced happy birthday greetings, since we won't be on the air on Saturday, tomorrow. So we want to wish Billy Samamba a happy birthday in advance as well. So those are the birthday shout-outs. In the studio with me, we have none other than Dr. Steve McField this morning. But since I shared those phone numbers with you and we already have calls, we're going to go directly to the phone lines. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Good morning. How are you doing, sir?
Oh, I'm busy here with the tournament control. We got 14 boats out fishing with a total of 42 souls on board the 14 boats. As of last night, I knew that it was roughly 15 boats that had came over from Grand Cayman, and possibly 3 or 4 more was coming this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so this is the popular fishing tournament we have every year, the Cayman Brack Jackpot Tournament. First prize will be $4,000 for the heaviest eligible fish caught in the Sister Islands.
Mm-hmm.
And then heaviest dolphin will be $2,000. Heaviest kingfish or wahoo will be $2,000. So there's some really good prizes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here right close by my tower in my garage with the tournament control. I'm the commanding officer of that today, tomorrow, and Sunday, 3 full days.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the rules? Like what's the limit in terms of distance that you can fish? You're allowed to fish
around Cayman Brack and Grand Cayman, but excludes Pickle Bank. That's the nearest bank, about 52 miles northwest of Cayman Brac, but all around Cayman Brac, Little Cayman, and around Grand Cayman as well.
Mm-hmm.
Right, it says it only excludes Pickle Bank for certain catches, right?
Okay.
So the boats are just trolling north coast to Cayman Brac, south coast, same thing, Little Cayman. That's how they do it, and around Grand Cayman. So it's plenty of boats out as well around Grand Cayman.
Okay. At the end of the tournament, if lots of fish have been caught, do the fishermen donate some of those fish to the rest home or something like that for charter purposes? We know, of course, that it costs them because, the high cost of fuel and everything else. But are any charities or benefiting from this?
That is a possibility. Most of the time it's shared among the family members, family and friends, and sometimes sold, but they make use of it very good.
Okay.
The year before last was a very busy year for catching the yellowfin tuna, but last year it wasn't that many caught. The year before that was very busy, and some very big ones was caught. So far, they hooked one around the west end of Little Cayman this morning. A boat named Badna Ras that hooked the yellowfin tuna and released it.
Okay. I was going to ask you about releasing as well.
Lost it. They lost it. Yeah, they were fighting it for about 17 minutes, and they lost it. So that's the first fish, and one other person hooked a barracuda. That's all is so far this morning.
Excellent.
So I have a very busy day. I have to be alongside the radio, keeping a log of all the activities. The boats calls in, name of boat, number of persons on board, lines in the water. I have to write down the time the boat is in and what's going on with them, time they hooked up and released, and type of fish landed. So I got lots of book work to do while doing this, and radio communications as well.
Okay. Thank you very much for that information, Mr. Scott, and we hope that you have a successful tournament over there, with no negative undertones from it as well. So we want to wish all of those boaters out there safe and a successful tournament as well. We do have another caller. We have to take a commercial break. When we return, we will take that caller. So caller, hang in there. Quick commercial break. When we return, we will accommodate your call. So please stay tuned.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. The Cayman Islands, He hath founded it upon the seas.
Alexander Selvin Eden, 1888 through 1985. Alexander Selvin Eden was a dedicated family man. He and his wife, Sarah Leonie Nee West, had 7 children, and their father made sure that they had the best education available. He loved to work the land and also raised livestock, providing steady employment for others. As a young man, he worked overseas on the construction of the Florida East Coast Railway, returning home after World War I. His major contribution was filling the void in transportation of goods and passengers between Georgetown and Bordentown, which he did with a horse-drawn carriage for 35 years in all kinds of conditions. The government called upon him for many duties in his district, including police service, tax collection, operation of the cattle dip to control ticks, service as foreman of roadworks, and as pound keeper, keeping stray cattle until their owners reclaimed them, and the maintenance of telephone lines. He also served as a member of the Assembly of Justices and Vestry.
Radio Cayman's Historical Vignettes was brought to you by Rotary Central. For more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way, positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Washing your clothes in cold water can save you 90% of your washing machine energy usage.
Using LED light bulbs uses 75% less energy than regular bulbs, and they last 25 times longer. Keeping your appliances and equipment cleaned and maintained regularly will reduce your monthly electricity bill.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Are you feeling sick, but don't feel ill enough to go to the doctor? Ask your pharmacist for advice. Here at West Bay Pharmacy, our pharmacists have been trained to offer helpful, easy-to-understand advice on the treatment of everyday minor ailments for yourself and all the family. Anything from headaches, cough and sore throat, to cold sores, our pharmacists will know when medical help is needed and will not hesitate to refer you to your doctor if your symptoms demand it. Like doctors, our pharmacists have a professional code, which means all personal information you give them will be treated in the strictest confidence. Visit us today at West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
We still don't know the true impact of non-communicable diseases like diabetes and cancer on our people. This is why, from June 3rd to July 31st, 3,300 adults from all three islands will be chosen to participate in the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Results from this survey will allow the Ministry of Health and Wellness to take a data-driven approach to making healthcare policy decisions now and for the future. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
They say you only live once. I say you only die once, but you live every day. I'm Michael Webster from Cayman Insurance Center, longtime supporter of Radio Cayman. Live your life, my friends. Happiness is in the journey, not the destination. When you're ready, I'm here to support you with the best financial decisions for your family's future. Cayman Insurance Center, protecting you and your family so you can take back your future. I'm Michael Webster, the sure way to protect your family. Call me when you're ready at 925-5433. Don't take chances with your family's future or your valuable assets.
Think life insurance. More Than Words, your gateway to local books and more. Connect to your culture. Tap into your roots. More Than Words bookstore in the Thompson Building. Supplies local books, gifts, trinkets, keepsakes, wall plaques, and journals. The hub for local authors. More Than Words. So much more. More Than Words is now open. Shop number 4, 2nd floor Thompson Building. Or call 936-5544.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with with Orett Connor.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Before we go to the phone lines, just want to also mention another birthday, Mr. George R. Ebanks. He celebrated his birthday yesterday. Also, we also know him as Tookie, Mr. George Ebanks. So we want to wish him a belated happy birthday as well. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, Mr. Connor. How are you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
All right, and good morning to your guest, Mrs.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. So, we've seen some recent robbery increases in our weapon usage, and that's a bit concerning. And I'm as a member of the public, I'm appealing that those boys try and find something else to do that they can seemingly earn some money, because always say it is about the money.
Yes.
And I realize that people do things whether in desperation or whether just because they can, but, you know, all they're doing is really destroying it for everybody else. And it becomes a chance that they could actually kill somebody. And they don't take that on until they end up at Northward or at Mr. McField's door saying, can you help me get out of this trouble that I put myself in? And it only brings me back to that old country song, come and get me, Mr. Jones. And it was always too late, you know.
Yeah.
But it's got to be a way that if they're that much into hardship that we have, and I know we have NEU and so forth, but some of them may not have the wherewithal to deal with that. And I always wonder if we've done it the right way. And whilst we make the services available, are they in the right way for all that need the services? You know, their access then. But really an appeal this morning that if their mothers and fathers and cousins and friends and colleagues that know, to encourage to disarm and to put the guns down, because it only brings hardship for everybody else, including themselves.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
What a thing.
Well, ma'am, we have a problem here. Is that we have a conundrum here, because if we can't police something like traffic, that regulate how people drive and stuff, how are we going to regulate and control the violent crimes like robbery and gun crimes? I've seen this happen in other countries, and I've followed it, the history of how it happens. People just don't care about their environment. And you cannot just allow people to follow the law. You have to make sure that they do, and there has to be some enforcement. The problem we have here is that we have people who are in control of enforcing the law, and they just don't really care about you and I and so forth. I remember when we were almost crimeless, when you had people like Mr. Benson, Jim Borden, all of those people, Mr. Warren Conley, and all of those in the country running the administering the country. They had a different attitude. Today it seems to be like everybody's a free for all, and everybody's saying, well, that is democracy. This is the price you pay for development. It's not the price you pay for development. We have to take this into hand, and one of the first things we have to do, we have to push the envelope and get control of our country, because the UK government parliament has unlimited power to legislate for us, and that's what they do. They don't care about us. They're 5,000 or 6,000 miles away, and the problem that we have to get this under control. We have people in this country who can do that, who can administer this country better than it being administered now.
I agree with you, because the one thing when you said those men and what they didn't joke, you see.
They didn't.
They didn't play, and I know people understand that term, but it is about legislating and it's about enforcement. But then you see some nonsense too, like when they're trying to legislate on driving, right? And they take a section of a road, for example, and I've raised this again, and I'm going to keep raising it because I can't get the logic. You have a section of road from Savannah straight to Low Valley. They've decided to make that a non-overtaking zone. Then you have the whole strip in Barton Town, right through up to Gun Square, that has an overtaking element. But yet we don't ensure that, and that is a high pedestrian, very tight community, and you got the trucks and so forth going through there, speeding and overtaken, and yet we don't take care of that. So it's almost like we're not sure where we're going to legislate. We're not sure why we're doing it. We kind of just do something
haphazardly. Yes.
Yes. And that's probably why we're having what we're having, because whilst we may have what people term as high incarceration in terms of the penal code and what they then get as a sentence because of either imitation firearm or an actual firearm, you would think that's a deterrent. Obviously, it's not a deterrent because it's continuing. So there has to be something else that we're going to do. But we got to take the bulls by the horn, and we need to just do what we have to do, and to do it in a way that makes sense, not this haphazard laying down of stuff as and when it comes up, and then nobody does something until it hits a family member, and then you go, oh, I've just realized that impacts.
Yeah, the knee-jerk reaction, yeah.
Correct.
Yes, yeah.
But I appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much
Thank you.
for, again, articulating your views as well. Folks, top of the hour, 8 o'clock news. When we return, the conversation with Dr. Steve McField will continue, and the phone lines will remain open as well. So please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman time check now, 8 a.m. This time check brought to you by our friends at Foster's.
At Foster's, you'll always find the biggest specials on the products you love.
Just like bubbly sparkling water, only $5.49, save 70 cents. Or Dr. Organic Body Wash, just $5.99, save $3. And Banquet Pot Pies, only $1.59, save 60 cents.
You'll find even more great specials in-store or online with Foster's Go. Foster's, better prices because we care.
Price is good until May 17th, 2023. Find more specials at fosters.ky.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com.
For today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Island.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Continuing to represent the Cayman Islands in the United Kingdom, Premier the Honorable Wayne Panton recently participated in a panel discussion at the inaugural Overseas Territories Conference on Wednesday. It was sponsored by the Speaker of the House of Commons. Premier Panton spoke during a session entitled Overseas Territories Environmental Superpower. Later that night, he attended a special dinner for OT heads of government hosted by the Foreign and Commonwealth Minister for the Overseas Territories. Events continued on Thursday morning with His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh and the Foreign Secretary attending the opening of the Joint Ministerial Council. They took the opportunity to speak with the Premier along with Minister for Financial Services, the Honourable Andre Ebanks. 2 days were set aside for the JMC, which is the, quote, highest forum for political dialogue and consultation between representatives of the United Kingdom and the OTs for the purpose of promoting cooperation, providing leadership, and facilitating collaboration. 2 RCIPS officers were selected by the Commissioner to attend and take part in the King's coronation in London. The British Overseas Territories Commonwealth Office put forward the request for 2 officers from each BOT to attend the event. Of the BOTs, Cayman were represented alongside officers from the British Virgin Islands, Falkland Islands, Montserrat, Gibraltar, and Turks and Caicos. While there, the officers were able to network with other officers from the region, and they've now started a WhatsApp group to communicate and share insights and knowledge about policing in their respective areas across the Caribbean. And the Astronomical Society is hosting a cool event tomorrow night at the Lighthouse on the Bluff in Cayman Brac. Astronomical Society President Tyan Miller tells Radio Cayman between 7:15 and 8:15 you're invited to head to the Lighthouse to catch planets Venus and Mars, which will be visible, as well as a whole host of amazing stellar objects, including the Southern Cross.
As a bonus, the International Space Station will fly overhead from 7:29 to 7:38 p.m.
For more information, head to the Astronomical Society's Facebook page. In regional news, Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness has appointed 4 new ambassadors and special envoys who will play a, quote, pivotal role in attracting investment and driving economic growth. In a press release, the Office of the Prime Minister said, quote, the strategic move underlines the government's commitment to catalyzing innovation, investment and economic growth to create sustainable opportunities for the people of Jamaica. The Prime Minister also emphasized government's, quote, unwavering commitment to creating an enabling environment for investment, working hand in hand with private sector to attract investment, drive innovation, and unlock the country's full potential. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller.
BBC News with Debbie Russ. The former Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan has been granted 2 weeks protected bail in a corruption case by the Islamabad High Court, which also ordered his release. Mr. Khan's arrest last Tuesday sparked violent protests by his supporters across Pakistan before it was ruled illegal by the Supreme Court. Russia claims its forces have repelled Ukrainian attacks in the Solidar area close to Bakhmut in eastern Ukraine. The Defense Ministry in Moscow said more than 1,000 Ukrainian troops were involved. Russia seized Solidar in January. Kyiv hasn't commented. UN human rights investigators say Malian troops and foreign military personnel executed more than 500 people in the village of Moura in central Mali last year. The Zimbabwean government has scrapped duties and import licences for basic food items to try to reduce the cost of food. Between February and April, the price of bread, sugar and wheat increased by around 40%. Further airstrikes and exchanges of artillery fire have taken place in the Sudanese capital, Khartoum. They came hours after the two warring factions agreed a deal not to harm civilians and aid workers caught up in the conflict. Palestinian militants in Gaza have fired rockets towards the Jerusalem area. It's the first time the area has been targeted during the latest escalation of fighting with Israeli forces. A French citizen and a French-Irish national, Benjamin Briere and Bernard Phelan, have been freed from prison in Iran. They're heading home to France. Days after he presided at the coronation of King Charles, a court in London has fined the Archbishop of Canterbury, Justin Welby, $640 for speeding. The leader of the Global Anglican Communion was found doing 8 kilometres over the speed limit last October. BBC News.
The 8 a.m. news is brought to you by ValueMed Pharmacy. Save time and order your prescription refills online at value-medpharmacy.com. VALU-medpharmacy.com. Are you tired of waiting in long lines at the pharmacy just to fill a prescription?
If what, child, let me tell you.
Well, now you can save time and money with ValueMed's online prescription service. Visit ValueMed's new website, valrx.com, and click the Refill Subscriptions button. Fill in your information and choose your preferred pickup location. Or email your prescription refills for ValueMed Walkers Road at rx-wr@valrx.com, and for ValueMed in Boddentown, email rx-bt at valrx.com. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting in lines and hello to the convenience of online prescriptions with ValueMed Pharmacy. Visit valrx.com to place your orders today.
Stay in touch with Radio Cayman with the latest up-to-date, accurate news and information. For your convenience, the headline news will be repeated on our sister station, Breeze 105.3 FM, weekdays at 8:30 a.m. Follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or download the Radio Cayman app in the App Store or log on to www.radiocayman.gov.ky and stay connected to what's happening in the community. Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice, your radio.
Since 1993, Rotary Central has worked diligently each year to provide quality bus shelters to our community. A traveling convenience to our school children, the elderly, young people going to work, guest workers, and visitors using the public bus. We, Rotary Central, help you, our advertisers, make it happen. Your marketing dollar travels a far way. Positioning your message, your product, your services, your presence in over 83 bus shelters. Every dollar you spend, every advert you place helps to build another bus shelter, providing modest comfort for Cayman travelers. Reserve space now on the only billboard medium in the Cayman Islands. Email rotaryshelters@gmail.com. rotaryshelters@gmail.com. The Bus Shelters, a partner in community convenience. Another inspiration program by Rotary Central Cayman Islands.
Ensuring your walls, ceilings, and floors are properly sealed against air leaks is an important step in lowering your monthly energy bills. Even small gaps around windows, under doors, or around lighting and plumbing fixtures can add up to as much air loss as having an open window.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
Good morning, my friends. Let's take a look at your weather. It's present temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit, mostly sunny on the outside, but it feels like about 93. Winds are out of the east at 8 miles per hour. Relative humidity 80%. Barometric pressure now at 29.94 inches and falling. Light to moderate winds and slight seas will continue over the Cayman area for the next few days. It's our forecast for today: partly cloudy skies with a 30% chance of the afternoon shower. Temperatures will rise to the upper 80s with a heat index of 106 degrees Fahrenheit, so make sure you stay hydrated today. Winds will be easterly at 10 to 15 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. Later this evening, partly cloudy skies, 20% chance of showers. Temperatures will fall to the mid-70s, and winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight with wave heights of 1 to 3 feet. We're in a high tide. Low tide is coming up at 10:45 this morning. It's going to be high at 4:34 this afternoon and low at 10:38 this evening. Sunset this Friday evening will be at 6:51. Sunrise for Saturday morning at 5:52. And the outlook is for similar weather conditions through Sunday evening. And that's a look at your weather for today into the weekend. Keep it right here on your Radio Cayman. Of course, brought to you by our good friends at CG Britcay.
Take some advice from your Aunt Angie. If you're going to invest in an exotic pet, choose anything but a Norwegian forest cat. Apparently, they will eat all your jewelry. Before you know it, you're racing to the vet when your cat escapes from his carrier and lunges for your earrings. You crash and your cat swallows your pearls. But if you're smart, you'll have CG Motor Insurance and get the best comprehensive coverage for the price.
Get the best comprehensive coverage for the price. CG Britcay. Good like that. All benefits are subject to policy provisions, including eligibility at the time of service.
The 8:12 a.m. weather report brought to you by CG Britcay, where people come first.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
Change your thinking, change your life. There's no great success without commitment.
As motivational speaker Tony Robbins said, individuals who succeed have a belief in the power of commitment. If there's a single belief that seems almost inseparable from success, it's that there's no great success without commitment. If you look at successful people in any field, you'll find they're not necessarily the best and the brightest, the fastest and the strongest. You'll find they're the ones with the most commitment.
Change your thinking. Change your life.
During these unprecedented times, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Cayman Strong Series. The Cayman Strong Series is brought to you by Encourse Cayman. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
These days, feelings of loneliness, anxiety, stress, and depression can be overwhelming. Just know you are not alone. Encourse Cayman offers private mental health services for children, teens, adults, and groups. Visit encourse.ky to view a full list of wellness services and their qualified team. Encourse Cayman, health, wellness, and happiness.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
All right, my friends, let's give you a quick update of the traffic situation. Most streets in Georgetown looking fair to find. Shedden Road, good movement of traffic, similar with Edward Street, heading on to 4th Street or Mary Street, and on to Seafarers Way. No cruise ships in, so very light pedestrian movement in the Georgetown area. Godfrey Dixon Way, light traffic as well, feeding onto Eastern Avenue. And Eastern Avenue itself, light traffic. But of course, looking at just on the outer streets, Halder Avenue, fairly busy at this time. Some heading on to Elgin Avenue, some continuing on to Thomas Russell Way, and then on to heading up to the Butterfield Roundabout. Of course, that's a busy intersection as well. And of course, still looking at the Crew Road, Linford Pearson Highway, we've still got traffic movement there. And of course, looking at the east-west arterial, the majority of the influx of traffic has come on in to the Georgetown area. So just suspect about maybe 15 to 20 minutes more traffic delays as you make your way into the Georgetown area. West Bay Road, fair to find with moderate traffic. And Cayman Bracken, Little Cayman, very light traffic this time of the morning. Of course, once again, your traffic report brought to you by our good friends at Subway.
From boat days to beach gatherings, leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips. For all occasions and celebrations, let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
At Kirk's Home Center, we can make your life much better. We got it all together. We got a great deal in store for you. From cookware to stereos, from power tools to plumbing supplies. Yeah, we got the best goods with the best price and a service to make you smile. Kirk's Home Center, we got a great deal in store for you.
Cayman Art Week brings you 5 days of art events and exhibitions from Tuesday the 30th of May to Saturday the 3rd of June, all free and open to the public. Visit galleries and studios anytime throughout the week or hop on one of the buses running guided tours around a different district each night. Don't miss this chance to explore Cayman's local art scene. Meet some of the artists or buy some art of your own. Check out what's happening each day, where the party's at, and how to catch a bus tour by visiting caymanartweek.com.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. It is my pleasure to have in the studio with me Dr. Steve McField this morning as well. We do have callers on hold already, so Doc, let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you, my friend?
I am good, my friend.
You not out there fishing?
No fishing now, I got to take care of my bottlers. I can't work with the fish.
Yeah, but you got to have the fish to go with the bottlers too, though.
Yeah, well, I know I can make anything out of bottler, but I know I'm certainly got to get the fish. So. Good morning, Doc.
Good morning, sir.
I was making a joke with someone yesterday. I said, my father said life will get so bad we're gonna eat cock pilot. You remember what cock pilot is, right?
Yes.
We call them cock pilot. They call them sergeant majors. He said things will get so bad we go back to eating cock pilot, but we got how eat grape leaf with it.
I think we used to call them cockananas here in Cayman.
Yeah, but now you can't even find them. So we got how just eat the grape leaf by itself, but. I got my bottlers, and I'm certain of them. So, OC, I want you to do me a favor.
Sure.
Before I get on to what I want to speak about, I want you to look up Portugal.
Mm-hmm.
Their restrictions on PR, what they require, and you can voice your opinion on that after I hang up. But I just want you to read that, and that will explain to the Cayman Islands how we should be, and that will bring us back to where we were. So if you can do me a favor, just Google Portugal, their PR systems, what they require. But I want to mention what our lady was speaking about with the crime. See, we can't have our cake and eat it too. Our system, our people wants government to give them everything in this system, in this life. And when we okay everything to be across the board, whether it's gambling, whether it's legalizing the drugs, and then at the end of the day, we know that crime follow these things no matter what. So the crime is going to increase once the government legalize these different things. We got our issue with drugs, with crime, as long as these other things that legalize into the country is available. Other countries are trying to ban these things, and we are trying to get them in. But then we complain about the crime rate. I understand that lady perfectly what she said, and it's so true, because the retainers that we had years ago to make sure that crime driven people was confined to a certain spot and they couldn't move from that spot. They were strict. They made sure that no one got away with what they thought they were getting away with. Them kind of people we don't have no more. And I don't see the system getting back to that. I really don't see it, because we have come away from where we were, and there's no paddling back to where we were before. We had drifted off too far. And I think more or less, to say we drifted off, I think we lost our paddle, so we can't paddle back. And it is sad to know that we, in our country, people are realizing now I'm coming back. I don't think very few much people now today can say that they sleep with their doors open anymore. I don't think so. Sometimes I find myself now in the night taking my key out my car. So how do we expect to have our cake and eat it too? And these are the things that people want everything. They want everything, but they're not looking in the future. My father always said, everybody looks ahead to try to try to grab what they can, but they're not trying to take one day at a time to try to receive as much as they can for that day. They're trying to take as much as they can up ahead, and they do not realize what lies ahead. They don't, and it's sad. It's sad. But I just hope that the government can come to us slow, because like I was pointing out yesterday with this thing even with these cars coming into the country, and yesterday I took my time and went online and to find a small vehicle that a family could own in Grand Cayman now, and that family that don't make much today got fined $16,000 to land a car at Georgetown Port. So you see these things, everybody jumps in to the pool and don't realize how deep the pool is, and then they realize they can't swim.
So when you say $16,000, you believe that based on the year, the restriction on the year, that even those vehicles imported from Japan and Korea or Taiwan, that they're going to cost that much? Just 1 year difference in the model is going to jump the price that much?
No, because remember now they said nothing over the 7 years. I mean 2016. And if you look for a 2016, I was looking yesterday for a little, I don't know if you're familiar with that little vehicle, but they call it Suzuki Swift. I think they're smaller than a Honda Fit.
Yeah.
And the auction price is $9,000 US. And the landed price, Georgetown Port, is $12,000 to $13,000.
Okay.
And that is depending on the year. As you go up on a higher age, 2022, 2021, or say 16,000 landed Georgetown Port. And that wasn't my topic this morning, but since you brought it up, it's very few families around here that's gonna pull that kind of money out of their system, and I don't think it much whatsoever. Had that, I wouldn't spend it on a vehicle. No, I don't see no sense to spend it on a car anyway, because my father said a man not supposed to own a car; he's supposed to own a truck. But it is sad. I mean, that people do they study and Google these pages and see what it costs a regular home homeowner, I think OC, rightfully saying, I think the government needs to revamp that and research that and do that over and say the citizens of this country are allowed. But the foreign nationals that coming in, doesn't matter where they're from, they are the ones that should be restricted. And when you do the, like how China, I keep pondering on China, OC, China has a restriction that you can work there, but for you to own a vehicle in China, you have to buy that vehicle in China.
Mm-hmm.
You can't ship in a vehicle from overseas, no matter where you're from. And these are the things that the government should look into and rethink what they already passed, that the people of the Cayman Islands can have something to reflect on, knowing that their pockets doesn't equal the cost of these vehicles being brought in.
Well, caller, I believe that we have to rely on the data as well. And what we don't have, we don't know really who are the persons that are actually importing the cars. Yes, if a Caymanian imports a vehicle, it's going to affect him. But we need to know whether or not the preponderance of vehicles being imported into the islands is being done by Caymanians or non-Caymanians. And then I believe then we can address the issue as to whether or not, it is hurting, the Caymanian who's trying to bring the vehicle in. But caller, we all have to make some sacrifice if we are to get some control over this. So, we all have to make a sacrifice.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. And I didn't even thought of the fact of a foreign national bringing in vehicles. I didn't even fathom that go that far. But now that since you brought that up, that is something that they need to recheck. But it's going to cause a lot of suffering, and for that purpose of these vehicles, that will cause a lot of suffering. And until government redo the salary rates for people that pensioner and those that are making a small little $300 salary per week, things not gonna work right. People gonna suffer. We gonna suffer. We as Caymanians gonna suffer, and it's bad. It's sad because government has to pay those that come in here on permits. They have to pay them. They have to house them. They have to give them this and they have to give them that. They don't have no worry. But it's us that making that little small bit, a bit of thing out there that can, today we got most of our salary going on gasoline and a gallon of milk. We are the ones that got paid for that. It ain't them. Because more or less what they're making not staying here anyway, so they're quite comfortable. Anyway, OC. You do me that favor and look that up.
I will. I certainly will. I certainly will. There are many jurisdictions that have more restrictive provisions when it comes to acquiring residency, permanent residence in their country than we have here. We have been quite generous with the way that we offer it here, and that's exactly what you're saying.
I think, exactly. I think we have been too generous, and I think now what happened was we've been generous to the outside world, but our government haven't been generous to the people of Cayman. So I mean, what are they selling? They're selling our birthright for us to just take ourselves and say, listen, I gotta dig my grave in my backyard and bury myself. Basically, that's what they're telling us. It's a thought for people to stop and think and say, listen, something needs to be done in this country before we get too far away from the shore. We gotta make sure that we try to do it now before it's too late, and it's almost there. But I think we can rebound from this if the people of Cayman, and that's the 3 islands, stand together. We don't want to stand divided because we cannot build no foundation on no sinking ground. So we need to stand on solid foundation and try to get these Cayman Islands back together.
So true, so true. Caller, I want to thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend. Stay safe over in the BRAC as well. We do have other callers on hold, but we need to take a commercial break. So, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
Heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and respiratory illnesses are among the top causes of death in Cayman every year. From June 3rd until July 31st, the Ministry of Health and Wellness will conduct the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey to better understand the prevalence of non-communicable diseases within our nation. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more.
There you go, sir. Thanks for choosing JN Money Transfer.
Boy, thanks to JN Money Transfer, I can stay right here in Cayman and pay mama bills back home in Jamaica. Her water, light, phone and other bills never late. Every month I pay everything in one place.
Make payments to over 30 companies in Jamaica through JN Money Transfer. Fast, affordable, convenient. Call 1-800-744-1163 for details.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the Record.
This is For the Record with Orett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have 2 callers on hold now. Let's go back to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C., and good morning to the doctor.
Hey, morning. How are you now?
I'm good. O.C., I just want to say a little big up. Your rider there down in your area, there, Rockwell, your love area.
Nathaniel Forbes.
Nathaniel Forbes. As you know, he's going away, and he's going to be training and riding with a major team in I think it's Portugal.
Yeah, a developmental team over there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I found out that team that he's going to be riding with is also owned by one of the major football teams. So it's not just a little tapioca team. It's a major thing. And I want to congratulate or thank Craig Merrin for showing such great interest in the youth. It came to me concerning sponsors because, as you know, he's not getting all the support that he should be getting from our people, our government, I would say. So I reached out to our good friend Renard. So me and Haha had a little meeting with him, and Renard turned up yesterday at the kid's house with his father and everybody, and gave him some good pep talk about athletes achieving what they're supposed to achieve going forward, and gave him a little financial support. So I also want to thank Renard Moxham for doing that. You know, one of the most popular person in our community from way back. You know, so yeah. And I also want to support the last 2 callers. But first, I would like to make also back up Dr. McField when he made mention about her former leaders. They really also had a strong hold on this country. They decided who come, who go, and what happened on this island. And I think, I don't know if people might realize it, but I think that because of what they did was what made this country very attractive for people to want to come here. But now people are coming, and we're changing our ways to suit them. Like the caller from the BRAC said, the government are doing more for them than they're doing for the indigenous Caymanians. And I can remember when we give them work permit, we we made them stay for 3 years. Then they was disenchanted with that. We made them stay for 5. Then we rolled it over to 7, and now we're going to 9. And that too is not enough, because as soon as they get to 9, they're applying for PR, knowing quite well that they don't qualify. So what is enough? What's going to be enough? So I think we really, really have to make decisions that we think that is good for the country, no matter whether people is disenchanted, because a lot of other places, even where they come from, they can't do the things that they do when they come here.
Well, if I could interrupt you for a second in relation to that, what you said about those persons who are applying for permanent residence when they know that they're not going to be successful at the end of the day. Doc, in the court system, there is such a thing as you're not allowed to make a frivolous the application or whatever.
Yes.
The work and Customs and Border Control, they need to do the same thing, where you vet the application in advance. We have seen that now. That has Customs and Border Control now have a process in place. The legislation was amended when it comes to applications for political asylum or refugee status in the Cayman Islands, for it to be the decision that is made by the Director of Customs and Border Control in relation to that after that decision is made, they can take action despite the fact that there's maybe an appeal process in place. So it has allowed the Director of Customs and Border Control to take preemptive action in relation to those persons who would seek to draw out the whole process, simply knowing quite well that they're only doing it for the sake of delaying the application. The same thing needs to be done when it comes to applications for permanent residence as well.
Yeah,
there should be something in there to say, listen, on the face of it, you do not qualify, and as a result of that, we're not accepting your application. Or if you're forced to accept it, then what you do is that you then fast track that application through the process, so that they gain absolutely nothing by it. Or you put something in place and say, if it's $2,500 to submit an application, it may be triple that if you insist on your application going forward. But there are many things that we can do.
Well, I have to be so careful, because of my position.
Exactly.
But when an application is denied, and you appeal to the IAT, the Immigration Appeal Tribunal, if there are no grounds of appeal, if the satisfied the tribunal that there are grounds of appeal, they will not hear the application. They will dismiss the application because they will not hear it. Because first you have to make out grounds of appeal.
Right.
It's what they call a de novo hearing before they move to the next stage. So we should have that at the first stage also. So if for instance you have to get the law prescribes now that you have to get 110 points. Well, if you get something like 40 or 50 or 60 or something, and there's no possibility that you could get 110 even after you calculate that, then the application should not be put forward.
Yep.
Okay, another little thing I want to touch on before I go. Ose, as you know, they seem like the earth is warming up, and they're breaking all the records for the hottest climates in many countries now, and that's happening in Cayman, I think, also. And as you know, we're in the most busiest path of the hurricane, and it's what now, June coming up soon. It's May
1st of June. Yeah,
yes.
May.
And I often hear the hazard management on your radio.
And they're going to be on. I forget what date it is. I think it's the Friday before the 1st of June. They're going to be on.
Okay. They're coming with sound bites again, or they're coming with some good material, I hope, or some good decisions.
They always have good advice for us.
Well, see, I don't hear anything in their decisions about getting people repatriating people off the island in case there's a serious threat of hurricane on towards the island.
There's a specific committee that is part of the hurricane committee that deals with that. So they have various committees. You have committees to deal with shelters. You have committees to deal with transportation and things of that nature. So that's all there.
Well, I hope the transportation mean getting the people to the airport and sending them back until we get full clear that we can accept people back, because as you know, we got a lot of people here now who's living way below what you can say the Cayman standards, right? And they're gonna be the first one to flood, for roof to go, and those people are gonna need somewhere to live, food to eat, and we're gonna need as much food on the island as possible in case we have a serious disaster like the last time. We cannot sustain all the people. Last time, people was in the government establishments, and they couldn't leave
for days and weeks. Yeah.
Because they had nowhere to go. The little shack they were living in would blow down. So those are things right now that we have to start looking into, or we're gonna be in some serious problem. Dr. McField is there. He can tell you they met people on the road that was hungry and tried to force them.
We have to get police escort. We had to get police escort to stop her from taking the food away from the trucks that we were distributing food in the eastern districts.
We shouldn't really have to do that if at the front end of things. Remember now, when you submit an application for a work permit, you have to fill out that accommodation form. The employer, to a certain extent, has a responsibility to ensure that you have adequate housing. Is anyone going out there and checking to ensure that is actually happening? Because that is where you would nip it in the bud. Caller?
What's going on?
We lost him. Okay. Paul, we have any other caller on hold? No caller on hold. Doc, you want to comment some more in relation to the hurricane situation? I can understand the need in terms of those persons who are visitors on the island and ensuring that they're evacuated. I can't see the government having the ability to force anyone who has the right to reside here unless some sort of state of emergency has been declared and say that those persons need to leave the island. It's going to be very difficult. But for tourists who are on the island, yes. What you basically would say is, listen, if you feel that you're living in an area that is likely to be prone to flooding and you have absolutely nowhere else to go, it may be best for you to leave the island.
Well, one of the things that concerns me is Bottom Town, where I live. There's no really any hurricane shelter in Bottom Town. And I think it was 3 or 4 years ago, the Reverend Rose started the church that was supposed to be substituted as a hurricane shelter too, and they're still not finished yet.
Still working on that, and it looks like it's not going to be ready for this hurricane season.
No, it's not going to be ready for this hurricane season.
Or at least the beginning of it.
Yeah, and the place that they had for a hurricane shelter that got destroyed in Ivan.
Yep.
And some of the people who went to live at the primary school, and they took a long time to get them out of the primary school. So those are the things that concerns me. And they say that the storms and hurricanes will be more intense than what happened before. Well, if it's more intense than Ivan, then you know that we cannot sustain this, because with the global warming and sea rising and so forth, anyone who live on the coast would be vulnerable to destruction. And the problem is that we do not have the priorities right. We spend a lot of money on this and that and so forth, but we do not have the priorities right. That should be something that we should be one of the leading countries in the Caribbean in hurricane safety and hurricane shelter.
Yep. And the thing is, again, Doc, we want to have a proverbial cake and eat it as well. Now, you can have your cake and eat it, but if you eat part of the cake, you're going to have part of it left.
That's right.
So we want cheap labor in the Cayman Islands. But with that cheap labor that we get, with the minimum wage being at what it is, then we're expecting those individuals who are here on work permit to have adequate housing on cheap labor. That combination that combination doesn't work. That's like, you know, they say oil and water don't mix. Well, cheap labor and affordable housing don't mix.
No, it reminds me of the old days of slavery. You know, when they needed cheap labor to harvest the sugarcane and the mining and all that, all the stuff that they were taking back to their own, the colonialists were taken back to their country to build streets and cathedrals and houses and office buildings in their country. What they did, they took people from Africa, cheap labor, and then when that ended, then they went into.
That was more than cheap. That was free.
That was free labor. Free labor. Yeah. And then they started the indenture system, where they bring people from China and from India and so forth. That's not, to me, the system that we have today is not much different from that. How can you actually sustain yourself on $6 an hour when a gallon of gasoline is almost $6 an hour to go from? And how far does a gallon of gasoline takes you? 10, 15 miles. So it seems to me that.
And then we're saying that they can have a car.
Yes, yes. And the greed here is enormous. Some people are making $40,000-$50,000 a month profit, and they have all of these people working in their places for $6 and $4.50 an hour. It is criminal, and unless the government does something about it, there are going to be more robberies and more gun crimes in this country, because people have to eat and people have to find a place to sleep. And when it's like the late Haig Borden said, politics is through the stomach, because when a man is hungry, he will do. A hungry man is an angry man, and he will do anything. They're not just going to go and go away and say come back tomorrow, because for them there's no tomorrow.
Yep. We're going to go to a commercial break. Before we go there, on the same topic, one of our listeners has written and said one of the reasons why young men turn to crime is that their ESP is so messed up, especially those with special needs. They are ignored by those officials whose job it is to help them, and not just the 5% elite student as well. One caller on hold. When we return, we will take that caller, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
I tell you what, I need to find a way to bring my electricity costs down. I don't want to see another high bill next month.
Have you tried doing an energy audit?
A what?
An energy audit. The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Oh yeah? I'm going to log on to that website right now. What was it again?
Visit energy.gov.ky to download do-it-yourself energy audits for your home or business. There is even a fun activity guide for kids.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costulest, and Foster's.
Visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
Your dream home starts with a vision, and often inspiration is at the heart of that vision. Brand Source Home Gallery's in-house designers are here to help bring your vision to life. Whether you're remodeling or building a new home, Brand Source Home Gallery is your one-stop solution. Explore their kitchen cabinets, sinks, faucets, bath fixtures, tubs, vanities, and more. Let Brand Source's designers help and inspire you with your next project. Call 623-5000 and schedule an appointment with a design expert at Brand Source Home Gallery, Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park, serving Cayman for 50 years.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
The Harkwell Theatre will come alive as Cayman National Dance Company presents the 35th season of dance. Its Emerald Celebration, an extravaganza of repertoire pieces, new creations, and remastered dances. Dance should be shared with all who live and breathe, so you do not want to miss the 35th season of dance at the Harkwell Theatre. Friday, May 19th, 6:30 p.m. for the gala. Cost is $75. Saturday, May 20th, 11 a.m. matinee, $10. Saturday, May 20th, 7 p.m. and Sunday, May 21st, 5 p.m. $35 for adults and $15 CI for children under 15. Tickets are available at Radiant Dance Studio, Audiophile Cayman, and Winner Circle Sports, or by calling 926-1826. Sponsored by Cayman National, CNCF, ARC Directors, Water Authority, CUC, BritK, and Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. The caller that we had on hold has left us. Hopefully they will call back. Meanwhile, I'll share this with you. This person says, I'd like to mention that during the cleanup in West Bay last week, which started on the first Monday, is the day that my regular garbage is collected. Person says that I noticed it wasn't collected anyways. I thought it would be collected during the week. Have to mention it wasn't, however. It wasn't. However, I called Mr. Dawes on Friday afternoon, and early Saturday it was collected. Just to mention that I've always had excellent customer service with Mr. Dawes from DEH. Thank you and appreciation to him and the DEH staff, all of those garbage collectors as well. And I want to take this opportunity then to remind you that Georgetown collection, the bulk waste collection for Georgetown, started on May the 8th, and it ends on the 13th, which is tomorrow. And then for Bordentown, it will start on the 15th of May and will end on the 20th of May. Then North Side and East End from the 22nd to the 27th of May as well. So that's that. So, Doc, I want to switch gears a little bit and talk about what's happening in the UK. I did, on Wednesday, we reminded people that they should tune into the House of Commons debate on Thursday. And it was supposed to be 11 o'clock UK time. They were 6 hours ahead of us. That particular debate didn't start until almost an hour and a half afterwards, but it is now available. You can actually have the PDF on the House of Commons website, and if you Google UK Parliament, then click on to the House of Commons, go into their archives, because after the day's broadcast, then you have to access it from the archives. Go into the archives and you can find it. Now, the whole debate in the House of Commons is there, so you need to forward it to around about 14, where it's showing about 14 minutes. And that there you will pick up the the debate about the overseas territory. So let's add some clarity to it. There are several things happening in the UK at the same time. We have the Joint Ministerial Council, which used to be called the Overseas Territories Consultative Council. They changed it to the Joint Ministerial Council. That means that all of the leaders of the overseas territories are there. The governors are there as well. That debate yesterday, unfortunately, took place at the same time that the Joint Ministerial Council was, they were in their session as well. So in the House of Commons, I think you had the overseas territories representatives, like in our case, it would be Dr. Tasha Ebanks Garcia, and all of the other overseas territories. There were some civil servants in there as well. But ministers weren't able, and chief ministers, premiers, they weren't able to be at that debate because they were holding their own at that point in time. As a matter of fact, Zach Goldsmith wasn't there either because he was in the Joint Ministerial Council meeting. This, one of the persons who actually initiated this debate and was able to get the debate, because they seemed to have wanted it to be scheduled around the same time that the Joint Ministerial Council was being held. But unfortunately, the debate clashed with the meeting. But they were able, I think there's something called the Backbench Committee, that they were able to arrange something with them for the debate to actually get on the order paper or whatever they have there, to get that on there. But the debate is on there, very extremely interesting in terms of what they talk about. So we had that debate on Thursday in the House of Commons. At the same time, we have the Joint Ministerial Council meeting that is taking place as well. And I think they return sometime on the weekend or the first part of next week from that as well. So there are two different things that are going on that went on at the same time yesterday. And then, of course, we have the other consultation that is taking place with the relationship between the UK and its overseas territories, that come September is the deadline for submissions, in relation to that as well.
Yeah, so I couldn't get it open yesterday when you sent it to me, but I was able to listen to part of it when I came to on your show this morning. You open up on your computer. One thing that hit me is this new concept now in the new definition of overseas territories now. Before we were called overseas territory citizens. Now they're calling us, they're calling it the British global family. So what does that mean?
Well, remember now, one of the white papers that was published was called Partnership for Progress and Prosperity. And I noticed that myself, Doc. Well, those days they were calling us partners.
Yes.
Now they're saying that we're family. They say, part of the global British family. Well, they continue to lose members of that family. So I guess they're now including us because they realize that if we want to keep the family together, or if we want to keep it at least at a comparable size that it was before, we had better embrace our overseas territories and call them family as well. Like I said before, we were called partners, and we had one of our leaders here in the Cayman Islands who referred to it not as a partnership, but as a sinking, a sinking ship, rather than a partnership. But that was interesting to see that they're now referring to us, as family. Remember now we have Barbados that basically has left the Commonwealth. Jamaica's about to do so, and there are several other Eastern Caribbean countries that have indicated their desire to do so. As a matter of fact, even New Zealand the
yes.
Prime Minister of New Zealand, but he made sure that he said that his personal feeling on it is that he wasn't speaking for the nation of New Zealand, but speaking for himself, that he personally felt that they should become a republic, and as well. So
Another thing, Mr. For the record, that catch my eye, my ears, so was the fact that they are now trying to circumvent the pressure from the United Nations about self-determination.
Self-determination, yes.
And because the United Nations says that, just paraphrasing, that all non-self-governing territories have to move towards their autonomy. But the British Parliament are now saying that we are self-governing, which is not the truth.
Yeah.
Because if they have power to legislate for us and to decide for us, how can we be self-governing?
Exactly, and that is what the United Nations. Now, of course, they criticize them because they point out, who are members of that particular committee: Russia,
yes,
Iran,
yes,
Venezuela,
yes,
Cuba. Several others. I have to look up the whole list, but they criticize them to say, we're not going to get justice there because look at the countries and what they represent. But they continue to ignore that fact that as long as the UK can legislate for the territory, including the Cayman Islands, then they are not self-governing.
Yes, they're not self-governing.
They're not. Top of the hour, folks. Headline news. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back immediately after headline news.
Radio Cayman, the voice, the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
The headline news is brought to you by Health Services Authority.
The Premier attended the Joint Ministerial Council meeting this week in London. While there, he spoke to financial services, concerns about irregular migration, and improving access to student visas for British overseas territory citizens. Ex-Marine Daniel Penny, who placed a fellow passenger in a chokehold on a New York subway, has surrendered to police this morning. The 24-year-old is accused of causing the death of Jordan Neely on May 1st and has now been charged with manslaughter. The 30-year-old victim, who was homeless and asking fellow passengers for money, was pinned to the ground and restrained for several minutes. A video of the incident has caused waves of protests across New York City over the way homeless people are treated. Penny was initially questioned by police and then released on the day of Neely's death. Neely was found unconscious in the carriage and taken to a hospital where he was pronounced dead, and his death resulted from compression of the neck, according to the city's medical examiner. Penny will be arraigned this afternoon in court, with full details of his charges to come. Those are your headlines. I'm Karsley Fuller.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
The headline news are brought to you by Health Services Authority.
When you have a sports or fitness-related injury, trust the expertise of the HSA Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic to get you back in the game. Our internationally trained and certified physicians specialize in sports traumatology, sports medicine, pain management, and orthopedic surgery. For treatment of common injuries such as tendonitis, arthritis, tennis elbow, rotator cuff, or knee tears, schedule a consultation with the Sports and Exercise Medicine Clinic at Smith Road Medical Center by calling 949-8600 or visit hsa.ky for more information.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. In the studio with me, Dr. Steve McField. We do have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Not hearing anything, Paul. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record. Okay. Hopefully we can connect with that caller, Doc. We have him now. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, am I on?
Yes, you are, Billy. How are you?
Yeah, good morning, Ossie and Dr. Steve. Good to again listen to you this morning.
Happy birthday, Billy.
Well, it's good. Yeah. So, very interesting, of course. A couple of things. The one I can't resist starting with is I'm writing another book, which details I'll give later. But in the course of researching that book, it's on the law. I came across a case, and I have it within my research material, but I can't pull it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I found out that actually way back, I think this is way back in the 90s, governor in cabinet used to set a quota for PR grants.
Yes. It was up to 25 a year.
Oh, and you are so right.
I think it might have been less than that, Doc.
It was less than that, and then it went to 25.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you remember it so well. I only learned it this week, yes, because it arose in a court case in light of that, because somebody got status. He was granted status by the board, but then he wasn't told.
That was a guy by the name of Attridge.
Attridge. An American.
Exactly.
Yes.
So I was saying to myself, if this has been done before, what is the problem doing it today? You know?
Well, Billy, if I can share with you what happened with that, there was one administration, and what they did was they actually set the quota at 0. It was never challenged in court, but there was always that question, can you really set a quota of 0? You know, it would need to be, a positive number like 1 or whatever. But for about 10 years, that we went without granting any Caymanian status on grounds of residency. If you didn't get it automatically,
or by descent.
And at that time, too, if you were a British citizen or British subject or part of the Commonwealth, and you married a Caymanian under the 1972 law up until 1984, you automatically obtain your Caymanian status by virtue of marriage.
Yeah.
So the only other route after that was on grounds of residency, and those days we didn't have permanent residency either.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, this is all very edifying. I mean, so in effecting any change to the immigration system, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. These things were already well thought out, and it's just a question of not rethinking them, more like reapplying them. But let me ask this question, because now I want to continue my learning process. What has changed from that time and now, which makes the government here today think differently from what their forebears used to think? What has changed in Cayman?
Well, I would opine, Billy, that number one, it started in 1984 when we started to craft our immigration legislation to suit particular individuals. There was another incident. This one was called the Hadjikit case, where Americans, U.S. citizens, could not apply for Caymanian status because you had to be a British subject. So in order for you to do that, you had to first be naturalized as a British overseas territorial citizen before we do that. They changed it so that Americans could apply. That is when we started to give away our birthright right there, and it continued afterwards. Doc, do you want anything you want to add to that?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then you must understand, Billy, that when you have people coming in and putting a lot of money in the country, there's a lot of pressure for their protection. They are going to make a lot of protection for their protection, and so they were able to carve out a place for themselves, and then that becomes part of the whole human rights thing. So people say, well, if they can get it, then what happened to us, and so forth. And there were several cases that went to court on the civil rights aspects of it. Well, you give it to these people. I have been here for so long. My children have been here for so long. What happened to them? And so this is what has happened now. It has eroded now. It has eroded now where the pressure has been on various administrations now to get it. So because the rollover was something like 3 or 4 or 5 years, and then it went to 6 or 7 years, and now the rollover is 9 years, and so now it's like once you get the work permit now in Cayman, a long-term work permit, not a temporary work permit, it's obvious that you have an expectation that you are going to be a Caymanian sooner or later, and that is the problem we have right now.
And I mean, Americans, well, Caymanians have always had this affinity to the United States, during the seafaring time, as well as some kids continue to be born in the United States. And I'm quite sure that Caymanians don't want Americans out, but it seems to be a question of balancing the interests to be able to find a system where you are not being overrun. I mean, this is really illuminating, but in just closing, in just 30 seconds, talking about a republic, even I get reminded of certain things about Africa. When I looked at the map regarding countries that still have the monarchy as the head of state, there is not a single country in Africa today, 50-plus countries, which still retains the monarchy as a head of state, the British monarchy. Not a single one. Most of them are in the Caribbean and in the South Pacific. And it's very, very interesting because the Caribbean, in a sense, has always been more developed and more westernized than Africa, and they had a higher level of education in proportion to the population. And it's very interesting that somehow in the Caribbean, that's where they have held on to this monarchy thing. Let me give you a short story. Many years ago, my son, who is very, very well grown up now, we went to Victoria Falls, which is the big falls between Zambia and Zimbabwe. And when he was 9, we went over what is called the Knife Edge Bridge. It's really a bridge over the falls where you look down on the falls. And I was trying to tell him, okay, Dr. David Livingstone, a very good Scotsman, came to this country from England, from Scotland, and he is the one who was the first Westerner to see this falls, and he called it the Victoria Falls under naming it after the Queen Victoria. And he said to me, he was 9, I remember that. He said, but Daddy, did he have a right to do that? Now, to tell you the very truth, for me at 9, I would never have asked that question. Okay? But he was able to do that, to say, how does somebody come from another country, come into this country and name a falls? And what the point I'm trying to make is this: is our children and grandchildren are going to say, what? You people had independence for 30, 40, 50 years. You still had a head of state who came from another country, and then you were celebrating when that person is being like there's a new colonization. Now, I know Caymani doesn't have a choice, but because it's still an overseas territory. But I think that has to be thought about. But otherwise, I should thank you. By the way, Section Article 73 of the United Nations Charter says that the UK must look out for the Caymanians rather than before it looks out for themselves.
Exactly.
So they should not say we are self-governing. I thank you very
much. Billy, before you go, let me give you a quick sus on the Attridge case that you're talking about, right?
Oh, yes.
It turned out that someone in the post put the list of the names of the person, because what happened was that the board would grant the statuses, but they would send them over to cabinet and what it was called executive council at that point in time, and executive council had the final say. Whether or not that was legal or whether it was legal or not certain. But someone put in someone's post office box the list of the names that had been recommended and had not been granted, and there was a court challenge in relation to it. And at the end of the day, you know what happened? Every name that was on that list that had been put forward by the board, they ended up having to grant them status as a result of that. But even in those days, people were leaking information.
But something else happened too. When the matter went to cabinet, when the matter went to the executive council, some of the names that the board had recommended were erased.
Yes, that's right.
Were erased. And when they found out that they had to give it to them too.
Yep.
But Billy, let me give you a little bit of history here.
Yeah, sure.
The difference between the African countries and all of those places is because the settlers mostly, the settled here first was European settlers. And so we have a tendency here, when you ask a person, what's your ancestry? They will tell you, I'm Irish, or I'm Scottish, or I'm English, but they will never say that they're part of the other party, African diaspora. They will always say that, and so the blood run deep into them, and in Cayman, if you had European ancestry, then you had privilege. You were considered to be above the other people and your neighbors who didn't have ancestry, and then it became a question not of class like in Africa and stuff. It became a question of ethnicity
and lineage
and skin color.
Yes, yeah.
So that was your key to success. If you had that, if you could claim that ancestry, then you were better than the other people, and so people still continue that now, and so the history of where they actually came from, and who they are part, that history is erased. That history is not taught, and so we believe here that we are all English.
Billy, thank you very much for that. We have to go to a commercial break, and we do have a few callers queued up as well. Quick commercial break. When we return, we will entertain those calls, so please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Since March 2004, West Bay Pharmacy has kept their doors open to the local communities, even before, during, and after Hurricane Ivan. At West Bay Pharmacy, our staff provides so much more than pharmaceutical excellence. From the moment you walk through our doors to completing your cash out, our staff will have put your healthcare concerns at ease. We would like to take this moment to thank our loyal friends and customers. To us at West Bay Pharmacy, our patients are our primary concern. We provide thorough background checks and precise calculations to ensure your medical safety. Thank you for being a part of our family and for choosing West Bay Pharmacy, where we care about your health.
Did you know that you can send money transfers to financial institutions anywhere in Jamaica with JN Money?
You mean I can send money straight to my account and cut out the middleman?
Yes, that's exactly what I mean. You send your own money to your own account, giving you peace of mind that the money is in your account.
JN Money Transfers to Financial Institution is another convenient service offered by JN Money. You can have this done from any JN Money location. Deposit your money straight to your account without the hassle of asking someone to do it for you. JN Money Transfers to Financial Institutions, making life easier.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
Did you hear about that March for Jesus that they have in worldwide?
Yeah, happening in Cayman too, 27th day of May 2023. Well, that's coming up here soon now. Let me tell you, I got my sneakers. I heard about it too. And I hear that people can walk, you could ride your bicycle, you could use scooter, and drive your car, any form of transportation you could use.
Well, they also provide transportation from the outlying districts, east end, north side.
Yeah.
They gotta make sure that everybody that won't participate can be there.
So what time we gotta be down there?
So they gotta be at the 7 Mile Public Beach at 2 p.m. because the march can start at 3 p.m. So you get there for 2 p.m.
Okay. And then what we gonna have up in town? I heard something they have in town too.
Oh, big praise and worship session afterward too. Oh yeah, I heard right of then the legislative assembly steps.
Oh, I can't wait to praise and lift hands to God. Boy, I tell you, I go in march for Jesus. Me too.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
For the record with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. Want to apologize for those callers we have on hold, but we're going to accommodate you now. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. You may want to turn your radio down, please.
Good morning, Mr. Osias Raymond.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I just given a report because tomorrow is no talk show and Sunday will be no talk show. I got you here this morning. Just 5 boats involved in the fishing tournament around Grand Cayman. 5 boats reported in. And so far, Cayman Brac, we have 17 boats out trolling, fishing. And 1 boat is just hooked up in a marlin. We had a 15-pound wahoo kingfish landed so far, only 1 small kingfish, but a boat is hooked up now in a marlin, so hope that will be the winner. Let's see what the result's going to be there.
Okay.
Yes, also,
and of course, if the marlin isn't big enough, what about releasing? Because
they will release the marlin.
Okay.
If it's not correct, they will release it, yes. Also, an interesting thing, communicating with a ship coming through the Atlantic that passed north of Cayman Brac this morning, said there is about 2 to 3 mile stretch of sargassum, the seaweed, that is floating in the Atlantic to the northeast of Puerto Rico and Cuba, and it's trenching towards the Caribbean area.
Yeah.
2 to 3 miles of it. That is a massive amount of seaweed. Thousands of tons are floating out there. And that ship just passed Cayman Brac loaded with Russian steel slabs going to Mexico for manufacturing cars, trucks, bulldozers, excavators, and all that in Mexico. And the ship has Russians and Ukrainians on board working together, and they are at war in Russia. So you know how that goes.
Yes.
Yes.
We hope that the Mexicans are making vehicles and stuff with that, and not other things. Because we see the scandal now with South Africa, where the U.S. has accused South Africa of supplying arms to Russia.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. It's 38,000 metric tons of steel slabs, ranging from 15 to 30 tons, and the ship's cranes one ship's crane will lift one end, one lift the other, and put it on the dock in Altamira, Mexico, which they have a huge manufacturing plant for vehicles there in Mexico.
Yep.
They make their own vehicles. Thousands of vehicles are manufactured there by the tens of thousands, so that's where it's headed.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Mr. Scott. Okay, Doc, so we have now... this person has written and said, I know 2 work permit holders living in an old tractor trailer. Says the heat must be unbearable in the summer, but the workers don't complain. Living in a tractor trailer. How the government allows such substandard housing in a modern, quote-unquote, modern country is beyond me. There must be a dollar bill involved. Greed kills the pig. That is amazing. Again, Doc, I think that some of the things that we are doing here, we're just going through the motions, but it has no meaning whatsoever. We need to, while we want to provide the businesses in this country with the ability to hire people, we have to ensure that the conditions under which those persons are working and living, that they are humane and they meet international standards. Otherwise, we're going to end up with pie in our face one of these days. It's not going to be long before it happens.
Well, it started happening already.
Yeah.
And the problem is that I keep asking this rhetorical question, but when is more better than enough? I mean, how much more can we extract from this little country? How much more can we take away? How much more investment can we have that we need more people? And so if you have 3 and 4 restaurants and you're making money out of them, how much more restaurants do you need? You know, I just don't understand. I mean, I understand it. I get it. But the stuff is that we have to have some kind of controls. We already in the 36,000 number of work permits, and our processing 4,500 work permits a month. How long we can keep that up? And where are people going to live? Because if people are living 3 and 4 to a one room and are eating bad food, not good food, then it's a double whammy, because you're going to wind up in a hospital, and then the money that you have to spend for health care for them, because a lot of
the health insurance that you're getting is basically the minimum. That doesn't allow you too many visits are limited. In terms of what the coverage is.
It's just to cover the law.
Yes,
to keep within the 4 corners of the law, and so. How long are we going to continue this rampant development where we need another 20,000 or another 15,000 or 20 people? And the statistics show that if we continue this development, this rapid development, I'm not saying we should have development, but if we continue this rapid development, and by next year we're going to have 100,000 people residents in this country.
Yep. So, Doc, one of our listeners wants to know, when will the report that from the committee, that I believe they mean the Electoral Boundaries Commission, be completed? And just to say, to point out that your members of your committee will be on For the Record on Wednesday.
Yes.
We'll be here on Wednesday.
And then the week after that, we're going to the BRAC. Yeah, so to have meetings there, and to report to the constituents there about the position that we're taking. That we're not that we're taking, that we're advocating.
Yeah. And your report is due when to the governor?
It should be around July.
Around July. Okay. We have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Hey, morning. How are you now?
I'm good, sir. Dr. Maxfield.
Good morning, sir.
I want to put in my input on the traffic, because I hear and talk about traffic all the time, but you guys don't talk the whole fact of the traffic problem that we have in here. Just one part of it. We need to deal with every part of it. And we have some unscrupulous drivers on the road that are just holding up traffic. They will do 30, 50-mile zone, 20, 40-mile zone, and see the traffic behind. And when you look up there, it's the clear road. We need to do something with them. We need either pull them off, give them a ticket for obstructing traffic, because that's what they're doing. I know road is a problem too, and the only place road is a problem is the one-way street from Georgetown to East End, right? So we need another one. But besides the point, these are the problems. People come here, they're not used to driving. They get a vehicle. I don't know how to get the license or what. I'm not going to say bogus, but I can see they don't know how to drive because they're not driving the speed limit, and we should enforce that. Make the traffic flow better.
Yeah, the same way that we enforce going over the speed limit, then you need to do it the other way as well. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't listen to the talk about speeding and drunk driving, but we need to talk about this so and get that straightened up. And I see the delivery people that deliver stuff, say like from Kirk, A.L. Thompson, and back there. In the evening time when I'm going home, they are one not doing it, so they're just going 15, 20 miles an hour. They don't worry. And my thought on that is that they don't want to go back into the compound too early and have to do more work. So they're taking their own sweet time, and they can tell their boss when the traffic go bad on the road, and that time they are the problem.
So, caller, a question for you. If we do get the east-west arterial, do you believe then, based on what you just said about the delivery vehicles, and we should include the dump trucks as well, that certain roads should be restricted then from being on certain roads? If we have two ways of getting to the Eastern District, that east-west arterial, and we have the local roads that go through Bordentown about there, do you believe that rather than mixing the traffic, certain types of vehicles should be restricted from certain roadways?
It would help a bit, but I don't know if we want to go that way because, people not take the shortest road to where the destination.
But it's those dump trucks and stuff that are mashing up our roads.
But you know why they're mashing up the road? Because NRA got the company doing the work. The roller that they're using is lighter than the dump truck. It don't get time to cure before the dump truck is on it, and the dump truck is sinking the road because it's heavier than the roller. So that's one thing they need to look at. Get a bigger roller and restrict certain vehicle on the road. So we will always have bad roads. So then that's one thing they need to do, and enforce the speed limit. And I would say too that them that driving slow, some of them don't have license or insurance, and they think by them driving slow,
they're not attracting any attention.
Right. But they causing problem. The road are becoming more stressful than it was before. Because I can tell you, I am going home in the evening time. When I leave here 2:00, I used to get home in half an hour to 35 minutes. But now it's taking me almost 45, 50 minutes. And what I do to me, sometimes I pull off the road because I get drowsy because the traffic are moving. Anybody can walk fast on it sometimes. And one other thing, I see these pre-slab people, they are carrying cesspool, and they're not strapped down. Why are they not strapping these things down? Because they have it, they think it can't slip off.
Well, because they know no one is out there monitoring them and ticketing them for doing it. That's why they, they feel
continue doing it. But one of these days they're gonna slip, and God forbid that it kills someone. But they need to get these things strapped down.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller, for that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, we have to take a commercial break. We do have other callers on hold. We will take those calls as soon as we return, so please stay tuned.
She hear clunk and our car stop. I was just about to send her some money, so I send it straight to her JN Money transfer card. It cost me less, and perhaps she use the card, pay the garage right away. She'll get discount through the JN Rewards program in Jamaica. This card make things easy. You can even get funds at any multi-link ATM.
JN Money transfer card. Fast, affordable, convenient. Tell your loved ones in Jamaica about it. Sign up is free.
West Bay Pharmacy. Personalized medicine, customized care to meet your specific needs. Your body is unique to you. Your medicine should be too. Whether you're seeking individual-specific medication, correct size dosages, or simply better tasting medicine, ask your pharmacist or healthcare provider about how compounding at West Bay Pharmacy can increase your treatment options, not only for your family, but for your pets too. West Bay Pharmacy, open Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Sundays and most holidays from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Can you imagine your home completely organized? At Brand Source Custom Closets, we can. We specialize in designing and building custom closets and storage units for any room in your home, including the garage. With tailored designs and custom LED lighting solutions to fit your lifestyle and budget. Our custom closets expert is committed to enhancing the value of your home with a solution that is uniquely yours. Visit our showroom or call 623-6774 to schedule a no-obligation appointment with our design expert. Brand Source Custom Closets, 209 Dorsey Drive, Industrial Park.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
What's that? No sugar, same amazing taste? Coca-Cola Zero Sugar is here to stay. Classic taste, pure satisfaction. Be sure to stop into any Tortuga location and get your own case of Coke Zero. Or grab an ice cold one straight from the cooler. Brought to you by Tortuga Distributors Limited. Coca-Cola, taste the feeling, Cayman.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have two callers in hold. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. Orett Connor.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay, and good morning to Dr.
Good
Steve.
morning, sir.
Okay. But if I had the power to do so, I would make it a law that no more status grants would be issued after 2025. And Dr. Steve, I heard you said when I was mentioning concerning us deciding about going independent.
Mm-hmm.
You said that we weren't prepared to do so.
Not yet.
What exactly do we have to do?
We have to train our people for all of these positions that we would have to have abroad. We have to make sure that we have continuous source of income, economic base that we can rely upon, just in case you get a downturn in tourism or financial services. All of those things, because independence costs money. Right now, the things that we would have to do internationally, the British government takes care of those things. We would have to have offices in New York or Washington, D.C., probably in Canada, High Commissioner, in London, High Commissioner, and all of those places, and Speaker in the representative of the United Nations. We have to pay our dues there too, and then you would have to have offices and housing for all those kind of people. So we're not ready yet for that. We could be ready because we have people in the country who could take some of those jobs. Orett is one. I'm sure he could be an ambassador to the United Nations from Cayman. But we're not thinking that along those lines, and we're not prepared along those lines. That's the problem that we have.
Go ahead, caller.
So, all these things that you say we have to do,
mm-hmm.
are those things something that that we can't do on our own?
Of course not. Of course we can do it on. Of course we can do it. Like I say, once we have the people trained, once we have the resources to do that. Just let me give you an example. Here's a young man from Cayman who has to leave his country to go abroad to ride bicycle to take up a profession that we should be supporting, and we don't do that. That is something simple that we could do, much less to be a member of the United Nations, a family of the United Nations.
Okay, because I feel once corruption does not occur, I believe that we can continue doing what we're doing in order to continue to succeed as an independent country.
There are obligations. There are international obligations that we would have to have to abide.
We have
fulfill.
we have to start putting the building blocks in place.
Yes.
You know, a house. You don't start a house without a foundation. So we have to build that foundation and then gradually build it up, caller.
And then you have to have confidence. You have confidence in yourself. You can't you can't depend on other people to do this and do that for you.
Yeah. You
have to have confidence in yourself. That's what you are. That is your end goal.
Well, as a Caymanian, I have confidence that we are able to continue to succeed the way that we are now.
Okay. And we need more like you.
Once corruption doesn't occur,
Yep.
I think we're able to continue and succeed.
That's a good way.
Right now.
Yep.
That's good. That's a good way to feel.
Thank you. Thank you very much, caller, for that. Let's grab the next caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. How art thou?
I am well. I just want to remind you, good morning, doctor.
Good morning, sir. Ma'am, good morning.
Gentlemen in the studio, of something that used to occur in what was once our legislative assembly. There was a politician who used to say two things. One was, well, we got enough going on the beach right now in terms of, construction. Yeah, we can ask a moratorium on that. And then he would do the same thing with persons, just dropping in, doing their minimum tenure and jumping up and carrying on. You would hear him talk about moratoriums to these people, this nationality and that one, if I'm not mistaken. Then there was another politician who used to do this. And I remember, very, very well, I remember this, talking about now the kings of the condominium. The condominium kings, when they started, the condominiums were the best thing and the blah, 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 blah. I think you got good and bad in all two of the means that we offer. In the hotel, you got your little tips there that need to be tweaked. In the condominiums, you got tips there that need to be tweaked. And, you got people in the house for 40 years, didn't try to tweak anything. But anyway, I remember another one telling the condominium kings, well, I gotta go to have a meeting with my people. So that's so to me as a young person, many things. You give me something to take back to my people, and I'm not talking about a handout, talking about policy and the way forward. Because I'm going to sit down with my people and I need something to tell. Well, in fact, I think he actually said that at some point in time, whether it was a public meeting or in the House of Assembly or whatever. I think he actually did verbalize that. But we can't do anything anymore than pick up the overnight send and do the talking point. That is so sad. When we, like Dr. Steve and Mr. Samamba, conversation, but you did that before. But we can't do it now. Somebody's hands is in our front pocket, our back pocket, or in our front pocket, and we getting more than money the likes of that. And this country now is being sold down, and we are already sold down the drain in a biblical way. And nobody likes to talk about the Bible in Cayman nowadays, but you go to the Bible, it's there. And we're looking for a Moses. Caymanians are looking for a Moses. But I tell us all the time, we don't pray well enough. Our God is really punishing us for something we had done. We need to find out what that was, that we can undo it or ask forgiveness for it, because we are a people in the new millennium 2023 under tremendous pressure.
Yep.
Social, political, religious, and otherwise. And I hope that since your name was mentioned in such an august way on the air,
I was going to say to ignore that. I was going to tell you to ignore that, you know.
Yes.
No, I'm not ignoring it. I've been in there for years.
I know, yeah, you've been advocating for the same thing.
No, but the people who could put meat on the bones again, and they know who I'm talking about. The people who could put meat on the bones again, not doing one thing. I calls and I leave messages. Please call me, but I shouldn't have to give your office staff my conversation. It's a private thing.
Yeah.
That is what is wrong with us in Cayman. We will not see the potential of each other, and we will not help each other up. If it is no more than a word of encouragement, we mightn't all have something to give, but we can give a word of encouragement to our fellow Caymanians. And I hope that you get there. I so hope that since we had to come out and vocalize on the down low, as usual, that the up high ones will understand who really got them up. Make them understand who really got them up, and I can find a way to tell them who really got them on high without getting in people being talking people business. I can find a way to tell them, because it's not only me one that know that. You understand?
Yep.
People know that, but they walk and they use as usual. Nobody across the world can think anything of us, because we don't think anything of ourselves.
Yep.
Well, we don't encourage and respect our own people, and there's no wonder that our doctors and our pilots and all of those kind of people have to go to another country to get recognized and to get and to have some importance. That's the kind of people we are.
Well, there's a doctor story. If you want that, I could give you that from start to finish to that young man.
Yep, we know about that one, yes.
What the country has done, it is nothing. Kick him in the face. Every time you turn his face to the left, we kick him from the left side. You turn his face to the right, we kick him from the right side. That's what we have done. And we don't recognize ourselves. We don't honor our own. We still are the little black girl and the little black girl boy from certain districts and certain places, but we can help them other kind up when they need it, but they do nothing to honor this country. And unless and until we honor every Caymanian, not half of us, every Caymanian has to be honored to make a whole. We will have these kinds of conversations, and, they will stop when we die.
Yep. Caller?
Have a good day.
Thank you very much for that. We are going to our last commercial break. Before we go there, though, this person has written and said, immigration enforcement resources are not sufficient for the amount of permits that are issued. There should be a rule that there must be an enforcement officer for a certain amount of permits, and they must inspect the living conditions and other requirements for each applicant. There should be multiple managers of those officers. And this person says same thing with traffic officers for the amount of licensed vehicle. If they do these and account for the cost of supervision, then they might cut back on the approval of permits and cars. Basically, there is no proper accountability and supervision for those overloaded, over-issued permits and vehicles as well. And to a certain extent, there are some accommodations that you may have to monitor, and others that are quite, evident that you don't need to actually monitor those. So let's take our last commercial break, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
We still don't know the true impact of non-communicable diseases like diabetes and cancer on our people. This is why, from June 3rd to July 31st, 3,300 adults from all 3 islands will be chosen to participate in the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Results from this survey will allow the Ministry of Health and Wellness to take a data-driven approach to making healthcare policy decisions now and for the future. Log on to www.gov.ky/steps to learn more.
Ensuring your existing appliances and equipment are cleaned and maintained regularly is an easy way to improve energy efficiency in your home.
Have your air conditioning equipment serviced by a professional. Make sure bathroom and kitchen exhaust fans and refrigerator coils are cleaned regularly, because the harder your appliances have to work, the higher your bills will be.
The do-it-yourself energy audits on energy.gov.ky make it easy to find ways to save energy and money in your home or business.
Complete an energy audit of your home or business before 31st of May 2023 to be entered into a prize giveaway. Prizes include a $5,000 gift certificate to Home Gas and gift certificates to Cooling Pros, Foam Pros, Costyless, and Foster's.
To learn more, visit energy.gov.ky today and follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram.
You deserve a unique vacation this year, one with easy non-stop flights from Cayman. Cayman Airways offers more non-stop flights to and from the Cayman Islands than any other airline. Now you can add Panama and Los Angeles to your travel bucket list. Skip the hassle of connecting flights. Panama is just a 2-hour non-stop flight from Cayman. And Los Angeles? Get there in less than 5 hours non-stop aboard Cayman Airways. Call 949-2311 or visit CaymanAirways.com to book your Los Angeles or Panama getaway today.
At Doctors Hospital, we know life happens, and usually when you least expect it. So when unexpected medical issues arise, you need quality care close to home. Located in the heart of Georgetown, our accomplished team of physicians and medical staff treat minor urgent conditions such as migraines, chest and abdominal pain, shortness of breath, burns, broken bones, open wounds, and more. 24 hours, 7 days a week with no appointment necessary. Peace of mind is important when life happens. At Doctors Hospital, we're always here just for you. Need to speak to someone? Call 949-6066.
For the record, with Orett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning. Welcome back to For the Record. We have about 10 minutes left in the show. No callers on hold. So, Paul, we're going to close the phone lines off now because we want to give Dr. McField an opportunity to cover some topics that he may wish to cover as well. One of our listeners has also asked me to remind the motoring public that there are cycling races that will be held on Sunday and Monday. And Sunday it will be in West Bay, I believe, and Monday it will be in Frank Sound, or maybe the other way around. But please be careful on the roads because there will be cycling races. Now, those races are well marshaled. That means that there are persons at intersections directing traffic and everything. But we're asking you, Sunday and Monday on the roads, please, please, please be extra cautious because road races will be held, cycling races, and we want to keep everyone as safe as possible as well. So, Doc, one of the things that I wonder whether or not it's going to be discussed. I know that there are other jurisdictions like the BVI. They have issues with a backlog of applications for permanent residence, and theirs work a little differently, because once you get permanent residence, then after that, then of course you can become British Overseas Territory citizenship. But you get belonger after 12 months. You get belonger status as well. We call it Caymanian status here, but you get belonger.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I heard in the debate in Parliament, they were talking, about the pressures that Turks and Caicos are under as a result of the Haitian situation. Mm-hmm. Anyone is going to talk about the pressures that other jurisdictions are under from a cultural and an existential standpoint because of the amount of unbridled immigration that we have in this country. And then while you talk a little bit about that, you can also talk about where your committee is, as far as PR is concerned.
I think the Caymanian public are sort of not aware of the power that they have in the ballot, and another thing that I see about us is because we're not pursuing education like we should in the modern world, because education is the strongest weapon against bias, discrimination, and oppression. Now, the foundation of this country was laid down by our forefathers through their blood, sweat, and tears, and even their very life. So we have strayed so far away now that it seems to me now that if you can only obtain success in Cayman if you are a millionaire or billionaire. So we have to we forget that this inhuman system that of indentured servitude that we have is one of the things that are driving this imbalance in our country. This indentured slavery, where people are working for pittance, people are working just to eat and to sleep. It's not good. It's going to backfire on us, and it's gonna hurt us real bad. We have not emancipation long ago was the first great awakening since 1835. We have to have a sort of a quiet awakening here, a quiet revolution here. We have to have an economic system that puts our people into not in indentured servitude, but puts them into a position of I would say economic, social, and political power. The problem that we have problem that we have here is that we look to other people to solve our problems. There are a lot of chat shows and a lot of stuff that's going on, but we just leave it to the next person. We hear that the next person is going to do something, so we do nothing about it. It's similar to when you're driving on the streets and you see people working on the road. You see one guy with a shovel working, and everybody's standing watching him. So that's what I have to say about that. Now, you said that what the listener was asking was where we are with the immigration review committee.
PR, yeah.
Well, what we're doing now is that we went through most of the factors, the 9 factors that sets out the road to permanent residence. We went through those, and we're going to correlate now all our findings and our opinions and our discussions and put that into some sort of a document that everybody in the committee can agree on before we
those would be the recommendations.
We make recommendations to cabinet. I hope that we could do this sooner than later, because the more that we delay is the worse it's getting. I mean, people don't understand that in a country where as small as we are, with an economy that we have, when you are processing 400 to 500 to 5,000 work permits a month, that's a lot. And I hope that we can always all of us can come to a consensus and can make these recommendations to the cabinet, and that the cabinet will do something about it as soon as possible. Because the one thing that bothers me is in Cayman you can make recommendations, you can have reports, you can have committees, but then when you make the recommendations, they go and sit on the shelf and they leave it for another administration.
You don't tell them what they want to hear.
Exactly. So that's what I have to say about that.
Okay. So folks, here's a big announcement for you. tomorrow, the 13th of May, Saturday the 13th of May, there's going to be a big bash, barbecue and fashion show taking place in Central Scranton Park in Georgetown. They're going to have music, live band. There will be food. So they're asking you to come out to celebrate all of the mothers, all of our mothers, to celebrate. That is tomorrow, Saturday, the 13th of May, from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. in the Scranton Park. They're doing this on as a pre-Mother's Day celebration because they want to allow the parents to be able to go to church on Sunday. So they're going to celebrate it on Saturday night so that all of the mothers can go to church on Sunday as well. So big bash, Scranton Park from 6 p.m. until 11 p.m. There will be a barbecue. There will be a fashion show, music. They will have a live band, lots of food. Get out there and celebrate all of our mothers as well. Well, Doc,
I would just leave with this last quote. We have to get back to what we need instead of what we want.
Yes,
that should be. And you know, there's no coincidence that our forefathers picked up the motto and coined the motto, "We have founded upon the seas." We now are not we are not now depending on the seas. We're depending now on other people now who's come in with money. And then the thing I want to leave people with, not every millionaire and billionaire that comes with his pocketbook should be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
There's enough. You have to have because when you start having unlimited, unbridled development, this is what you have. You have you start building a mediocre country, and then you start having neighborhoods that in other countries what they call them hoods.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
hoods?
yes, the hoods.
We don't want any hoods here. We don't want any ghettos here. We don't want all that stuff here. We want to get back to building a country that everybody has a chance and everybody has an opportunity. Like we all started out when we first began this journey into economic independence.
Okay. One of our listeners has written and said, Dr. Steve has to admit and bring to the public's attention that our governments planned it this way to bring in the indentured slaves to assist the rich developers to put more profits in their pockets. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. So
I agree.
That covers that. So, folks, we want to say Happy Mother's Day to all of you mothers out there coming up on Sunday as well. And every day really should be Mother's Day as well. But since they have designated a particular day for that, we want to say to you that you should honor all of those mothers out there. And of course, Monday is Discovery Day. We didn't get to talk about that as well, but we see some countries, for instance, I think in Guyana, in celebrating the arrival of the Indian people of Indian ancestry to Guyana, they're calling it Arrival Day. There are some who say that Columbus didn't discover anywhere. The places were there.
Exactly.
He didn't discover them. They were always there.
Always there. And the place was already discovered by other people.
Yep. So one of these days, even though they may call us woke and everything else, we may want to look at whether or not we want to change that Discovery Day to something. Maybe that Discovery Day should be the day that we have it for seamen.
Yes, that's right.
You know, that should be the holiday where we recognize the seafarers.
Founded on the Seas Day.
Yes. Good idea.
Yes.
Yep. Rather than Columbus discovering it, the good Lord putting it on the planet, and it should be, good point there, Doc. Yes. We're going to push that some more as well. Yes. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and, by extension, For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles, as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, wherever that may be. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. So I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk Today. Happy Mother's Day again on Sunday. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record, proudly brought to you by
Coca-Cola. Available across the Cayman Islands from Tortuga Distributors. Accept no substitutes. Taste the feeling with Coca-Cola. Brand Source Home Gallery. Inspiring luxury. West Bay Pharmacy. Taking care of your health. And JN Money. From abroad to yard. Fast, affordable, convenient. Doctors Hospital. Peace of mind is important when life happens. Doctors Hospital. Always there for you. Call 949-6066. And the Ministry of Sustainability and Climate Resiliency. Visit energy.gov.ky or follow the National Energy Policy on Facebook and Instagram. And by the STEPS 2023 National Health Survey. Visit gov.ky/steps to learn more. And Cayman Airways. Call them on 949-2311 to book your nonstop flights to Los Angeles and